SportsView360.com. In today's vlog, I just want to talk about the upcoming New Orleans Saints 2024 NFL Draft, and I want to present my wish list of the players that the Saints should have significant interest in this upcoming draft. Now, a lot of these guys on the list are no-brainers. You probably heard of the names before from different videos, different Saints, content creators, different Saints blogs that are out there, and that's okay. But this is my list. This is my wish list. These are my top players to watch out for if you're a fan of the New Orleans Saints and you're looking forward to the upcoming NFL draft, which begins on Thursday night. That will be the first round of the draft. The next day will be on Friday, which will be day two, and continue on with the day three selections of the draft. So I got five positions that I think the Saints are going to be seriously interested in upgrading or adding depth to, adding personnel to in the upcoming draft. So first I got offensive tackle, edge, wide receiver, defensive tackle, tight end. Now, the thing is about these picks, these are players that I project are going to go in the first three rounds of the draft, or even the first 5 rounds of the draft. But for Saints purposes, we know that the Saints don't have a third round or fourth round selection. So the Saints' first 3 rounds will be the first round, the second round, and the fifth round. So that's how I see it playing out for the Saints right now. But I think they will move up in the draft to get a third or fourth round pick. But I'm gonna start things off with the offensive tackle position. My five top guys to be on the watch to look out for. The five top guys that I believe could fall to the Saints at 14. That's J.C. Latham, Talise Fuanga, Troy Fontano, Alufashano, and Amarius Mims. I have no issues taking these guys at 14. I'm fine with either one. As long as they can fit the current scheme, they fall into the vision of what Clint Kubiak, the new offensive coordinator, has for the team. The team needs offensive tackles, man. Especially after hearing the news on Ryan Ramczyk. We all know about Trevor Penning, who I'm assuming is going to get us another chance to prove that he is not a bust, but he is trending towards that way. So there are people out there that believe that the Saints should take tackles in the first round and in the second round. It's a possibility, and I won't have an issue with that. But because some people believe they're gonna need help, they're gonna need a right tackle and a left tackle. I mean, the way I see it, get a tackle in the draft and bring back Andrews Pete. That way you have a veteran on that offensive line, a veteran that's proven, a veteran that can play guard, a veteran that you can put on the left side, which was his natural position. And Andrews Pete still don't have a job. I think he talked to the Titans a while back. Nothing came about with it. Who knows what's gonna happen? But be on the lookout for that situation to pick up after the draft. But the way I see it playing out, the route the Saints should take, instead of having two young guys on that line, get you a young your blue chip prospect at 14 at tackle. Go sign Andrews Pete and try to get Trevor Penning up to speed. If that can work, you may be working with something. You may have something cooking going into this upcoming season with your offensive line. But I have no issues with either one of those guys, either one of these players on this list. Now, the guys I'm really interested in, like my top 3 out of 5. I like Troy Fatano, I like Talise Fawanga, and I like Alu Fashano. Those 3 right there. But if they go the route of taking a J.C. Latham or Marius Mims, I'm cool with that as well. As long as the guys fit the system, as long as these guys can pass protect, can effectively pass protect for Derek Carr, can be effective in the run game, which is going to be, I think, is going to be a very huge part of our plans going forward. I'm fine with it. You know. Now I got edge on this list as well because if they decide, or if they throw a curveball in this draft and they go a different route, because the Saints, Mickey Loomis, Jeff Allen, they could be unpredictable. We all know that with these picks. What if they decide to go? We want an edge guy at 14 and go tackle in a different round. Dallas Turner is a name I like out of Alabama. Jared Verse out of Florida State, and Darius Robinson out of Missouri. Dallas Turner may be going by the time 14 comes around. Dallas Turner might be Atlanta Falcon because every mock that I've read, for I would say like 80 to 90% of the time, Dallas Turner has been mocked to the Atlanta Falcons. You know, but if not, if he falls, you put the Saints in a situation. You know, Jared Verse, I think he's the more realistic situation at 14. Darius Robinson, a lot of people, a lot of draft experts, the guys that I trust, the guys I follow. Darius Robinson they have a late first or second round grade on him, but the way he's built, his prototype, he fits the Saints' vision at defensive end. So there's my 3 guys that I'm interested in for my wish list at edge. Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, Darius Robinson. Now on to wide receiver. Wide receiver, we got Xavier Legette out of South Carolina, Ricky Purcell out of Florida, Luke McCaffrey out of Rice, Malachi Corley out of Western Kentucky, and New Orleans' own Jaquan Jackson out of Tulane. These are my 5 guys that I would like to see the Saints add, if possible. If they decide to go the wide receiver route, these are the guys that I like to see them add. The other guys that they're the first rounders like Troy Franklin's, Donnie Mitchell, those guys, I think they're gonna be gone by the time. I mean, in the first round they could be gone, you know. Um, but we'll see how it play out. But I think all the 3 of these guys will fit what the Saints are looking for in regards to this new system that they're gonna be setting up Clint Kubiak in regards to the wide receivers. Xavier Legette, Ricky Purcell, Luke McCaffrey, Malachi Corley, and Jaquan Jackson. Now, all these guys on the list can do great things in the slot. All of them. I've seen all the footage, the scouting reports, and all that. They can do great things at the scout out of operating out of the slot. Ricky Purcell is a great um, contested catch player. Malachi Corley, slot machine. He's done like the majority of his damage coming out of the slot. And you can also utilize him in running game situations. Same with Xavier Legette. They're saying that scout reports are saying that Xavier Legette is better at catching the football coming out of college right now than Deebo Samuels was when he came out of South Carolina. So that's something to consider. Jaquan Jackson is very versatile. I think you can put him on the punt return team. You can put him in the slot. He can do some damage on the outside. Jaquan Jackson could be a realistic possibility in the later rounds of the draft. in the fourth and the fifth round. That's if the Saints decide to keep those picks. But I think if you didn't want to add one of these guys, one of these wide receivers, Ricky Purcell, Luke McCaffrey, Malachi Crowley, one in particular, I think the Saints are gonna have to move up. They're gonna have to package those fifth round picks, at least three of those fifth round picks, to get back into the third or fourth round to draft a guy like a Ricky Purcell or Malachi Crowley. Ricky Purcell might go in the second round. He's very high on a lot of big boards. Like I read Dan Brugler's of the Athletics, the Beast, his NFL draft guide. He's like the ninth best receiver on the list. The ninth best. Like out of I think he had what 25, 30 prospects, I'm not sure. But Ricky Purcell is ninth on the list. Xavier Legette is high as well. You know. So those are my, you know, top wide receivers that I think the Saints should be looking at in the draft. The guy that ran the 40 time, the high 40 time out of Texas, um, I don't think he's gonna fall to the Saints. And I don't think the Saints, gonna add a type of player like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it play out, man. But I don't think that's gonna be I don't think those type of players are gonna be at the Saints. Yeah, Xavier Worthy. I don't think the Saints are gonna have interest in him. I think he's gonna fall. I think he's gonna go to a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. If we're being honest, because they're gonna need help at wide receiver. You know, so there's my top uh, five players at wide receiver that I'd like to see the Saints have interest in. If it comes down to that, at defensive tackle, I got two guys: Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweet. Both players come out of the University of Texas. Two huge run stoppers that are at the best at their position coming to this draft. Now, I know there's some others out there that have interest that the Saints may have interest in, but you can't go. I think you can go wrong. You can't go wrong with either two of these players. Now, Sweet has some issues that occurred not too long ago. And I think I believe he had a DUI incident. Um, we all know the Saints have had players like this in the past. They don't care about the character thing. They're not big on the character thing like people think they are. They went after Deshaun Watson, even though Deshaun Watson had that mess going on. They've had some other players that have some issues on the team. Alvin Kamara got in a fight. Lattimore had his issue. So they'll turn a blind eye to that. But out of the two, Byron Murphy could be gone by the first round. So I think if they want to Byron Murphy, they may have to take him at 14. If they really do want Byron Murphy. Or if he falls to the second round, they may have to give up some assets to move up in the second round to take Byron Murphy. I don't think Tavondre Sweet is gonna go past the third round, the second or third round. He may go into the first. Who knows? But those are my top two at defensive tackle because that's another position that I think the Saints could use some help out as well. You know, defensive tackle, edge, especially at edge too, man. Because I think the production is still the production at that position has not been up to par since 2021. If we're being honest, you know, at tight end, it's a no-brainer, bro. Everybody knows about Brock Bowers, Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State, Jatavion Sanders out of Texas, and Cade Stover out of Ohio State. Brock Bowers is the clear-cut best tight end in this year's draft, hands down. Now, there's been a lot of ongoing debate online, on Facebook groups and message boards about the Saints taking Brock Bowers. If he falls to 14, should the Saints make the move to take him? And I think you should. Because that's like that team, that a player like that with his offense, with our personnel that we already have, with the code, the type of coordinator we have, this can take the team to another level from a from an offensive productive standpoint. You know, and if you take Bowers, you have to take an offensive tackle in that second round because I think after the third round, I think the value of what you can find in an offensive tackle, a hidden gem at that position becomes scarce, in my opinion. You know, but I like Brock Bowers though, man. I wouldn't mind having him, bro. You know, and there's people out there that say that keep saying that if you take Brock Bowers, it's gonna be his skill set's gonna diminish with the Saints because he's gonna turn into a blocking tight end because the Saints won't have enough. The Saints won't have efficient pass protection that will give Derek Carr enough time to throw the football to Bowers so he can make plays. But my pushback to that notion is that don't you think the Saints would have a plan in place if they decide to take Brock Bowers in the first round? You know, don't you think they would have a situation in mind, a plan, a game plan in mind on how to deal with that? I know they've made some very questionable decisions in the past in these last couple of years, but they're not that incompetent. You know, you take a talent like Brock Bowers, you're gonna figure out a way to integrate him into the game, integrate his skill set to this team. You know, Ben Sinnott, another tight end that I like out of Kansas State, that he's a player like Ben Sinnott, Jatavion Sanders, are players that the Saints may have to decide: are we gonna try to jump back into the third round? Are we gonna try to get an extra second round pick so we can take these guys? Because I don't see Ben Sinnott, Jatavion Sanders, or Cade Stovers lasting past at least the third round of the draft. These are the next best tight ends after Brock Bowers. You know. So these are the players that I think everyone should watch out for the Saints taking in the upcoming draft. These are my wish list players that I would like to see the Saints add to the current roster we have right now. And like I said before, a lot of these names on the list, a lot of y'all probably already familiar with because if you've been to any Saints website or website that has a heavy Saints presence like mine, sportsview360.com, I mentioned some of these players in my mock drafts. So these are my guys right here. My top players to watch, my top Saints prospects, my wish list. All right. So, all right, that's all I have for y'all for right now. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. What are your thoughts on the list that I have presented today? Are there any other players that you have interested in? Is there a quarterback that you prefer the Saints take in this upcoming draft? Are there any other players that you think that me or anybody else should be on the lookout for in the upcoming draft? And also check out sportsview360.com /Saints for this content, the New Orleans Saints organization. Be on the lookout in the next couple of days because my final Saints 2024 NFL mock draft will be coming out. So just bookmark the page. I'll be posting it in the community sections tab of the YouTube channel page, and it'll be there for everybody's viewing. So that's all I have for y'all for right now. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out. Who that?